G'day guys, and welcome to another episode. Today, on this gloomy morning, I'm heading out to a place called the Colosseum, which is about 100 k's south of Gladstone, just on the eastern side of the Great Dividing Range. I'm lucky enough that the owner of a large property out here has given me the opportunity to come out and try and hunt a pig. Now, he doesn't like guns, so I'm only bringing the bow. So the chances aren't high we're going to get one, but that's not going to stop me going out and giving it the best crack I can. I just hope the weather stays good for us. I don't want to be out here doing this in the rain. Check out this bloody turkey. I must have followed him for a couple of 100 metres before he decided to dart off the road into the bush. Now guys, full disclosure, I've never been hunting. I've always wanted to go. I've never been on a proper hunt. I've shot a couple of Indian miner birds because they are a real pest. But other than that, this is going to be my first time out there. So the property owner's been kind enough to point me in the right direction, and this is it. I'm on my own. Been dropped off to the spot where I'm going to walk from. This is where he recommends, but it's actually starting to pour rain. I don't know if you can pick that up on camera, but I'm getting pretty wet, so I'm going to head down into this little creek area here next to the car. I've got a wet weather poncho, like an emergency one. I'm going to throw that on and we'll get going. Right, I'm all ponchoed up, as you can see. It's a little bit noisy, but we'll see how it goes. It's going to keep me dry to start with. We'll see if we can pick up the trail of these pigs that have been out here, causing a bit of havoc. He's been doing some earthworks up in here, trying to put in a few more little dams, hold water through the dry. He said he's seen the pigs up there, or seen sign of pigs up there while he's been doing some work, so I'll try and sneak up there and get a bit of a look around. Obviously this raincoat's not helping, it's quite noisy, but I don't really want to be soaking wet either, so we'll see how we go. Okay, this is the sort of terrain we've got to deal with. We've got some open grasslands, and as we progress up the mountain, it becomes a little bit more dense as we go. Now, the fact that it's a rainy morning might work in my favour. Other than getting wet, it does mean it's a bit cooler, so the pigs are going to be out foraging for food and water and whatever else the pigs get up to a little bit longer before they bed down in the heat of the day. Although in saying that, there's a lot of water lying around as well because we've had a fair bit of rain. So it's going to be a bit of a double-edged sword, I think, today with the rain. There's our first little game trail just there. It's actually a fairly big one, running off into the trees and back up the hill. Sort of cuts back to the direction we just came, so. I'm just taking everything real steady while I check out this dry water hole here. It looks like it's only just dried up as everything's still really green around it. It seems like the perfect place a pig might be hanging out. There is still a tiny bit of water sitting in the bottom of this dam. That's something the property owner wanted me to check out to see if there was any water still in there. And there's a tiny bit. I mean, that seems like a place the pigs would be hanging out. But there's none there right now, so I continue up the mountain. I'll follow this trail up as far as I can, but inevitably, it just gets too thick for me to go any further with the bow. So I head back down through the dam to where I've left my bag. And we're going to trek on the other direction, along the edge of this grassy plain. This is another spot the landowner's been putting some water out for the animals. And he doesn't actually farm any animals, just the native ones, any sort of natural wildlife that wanders through the block. He's got a little solar panel set up here and a pump. That pumps to a trough just for a water source for anything chasing a drink during the dry months. This really is a beautiful area, and I'm sure this place would come alive at night time. Now I can hear something up on the ridge line, but I can't see it. There's definitely something moving along that ridge line up there. I can hear it walking through the leaves, but I can't get to it. This lantana is just too thick. Look at that. It's just like a solid wall, so we'll keep heading down the path, see if we come across anything else. If not, we might be able to double back around to it. At least check out what it is. The bow I'm carrying with me today, funnily enough it's the only one I own, is an Apex Berserker. They're only a cheap bow, but at 75 pounds, it'll bring down a pig or a deer or whatever else I can get a shot at, if I can find anything to have a shot at out here. But it's been a pretty good bow for me so far. This is the first time I've taken it hunting. I've only ever used it for target work, but I'm sure it'll be absolutely up to the task if we can find something. One time I'm not out in the bush fishing. There's bait right there. Yeah, the landowner has told me that there are a few pigs about out here. He knows because he actually runs some trail cams or game cameras. That way he can keep a bit of an eye on what wildlife is using his property. So maybe I'm just bad at finding them, but he reckons they are here. Now, unfortunately, we've reached the end of this little trail that I've been following. I believe it's been man-made, been pushed in some time ago, but the vegetation just gets too dense to be toting a bow through here. So I'm going to head back and gee, I'm tempted to climb that mountain. I just don't see myself being able to get up there and be quiet enough to find anything. It is so steep. Now I just can't help myself. I've got to go in and have a bit of a look at this ridge line to see if I can climb up it anywhere. I'd be kicking myself if I didn't. Where are these land snails? I keep finding them everywhere. Right, this is steep. I'm going to go for a bit of a walk and check it out, but I mean this, I'm 100% sure this is a game trail I'm on now, but I just can't fathom why the pigs would be going up and down this where it's so steep. I'm sure they're creatures that'll just follow the path of least resistance, but then again, here I am walking up the bloody thing as well. Honestly, coming out here, I didn't really know what to expect. I expected it to be a bit of bush, but I didn't expect it to be this dense. I do have the little drone in my bag that we could throw up and get a better look around, but we're really not going to see anything through this canopy. I mean, look at it. Look how dense it is. That's not to say the whole property is going to be like this. It's over 500 acres, the one I'm on now, so I'm sure the terrain will vary a little bit, but from what I've seen, a lot of it looks like this. Or it's just lantana thickets, which also we won't be able to see through. We're no chasing pigs out with the drone today, I'd say. They've definitely been going up and down that hill though. Beats me why. I've decided to make my way back to the car so we can head over to another spot to check out. I'll tell you what I have seen out here. There's heaps of pigeons and doves. I've seen a few of those emerald doves getting around as well. They're pretty cool, but haven't managed to get any footage of one up close. But there's lots of wildlife out here, just not the stuff I'm chasing, which is good. I mean, there shouldn't be pigs, but there is, so, you know, it's a good bad situation. I'd love to get one. I'd love the meat. I'd love to chuck it in the camp oven at home, but it's one of those love-hate things, I guess. That's a pretty cool little bird nest that seems like it should be higher in a tree than it is, since I'm just standing on the ground looking at it, but it's there anyway. And this is the other thing I found, a guava, which seems pretty ripe. Someone's had a chew on it, so it means there's bushes around here somewhere. There they are, there's some pretty big ones. They're on the road back in, or the track back in. This is the way I came, so I found them on the way back out, and you know what, I thought I'd check if there was any ripe ones. Safe to say they're not quite ripe yet. Righto guys, I've just made it back to the car, and as you would have seen, it was pretty uneventful up the mountain there where we've just come from. Obviously we didn't climb right at the top, it was too dense, but we did a fair bit of walking around and exploring. Seen some cool things nonetheless, but we didn't find that pig we've been chasing. So I'm gonna have a bit of a snack and something to drink now that we're back at the car. And I'm going to shoot up to this other spot he showed me on the way in. I think it's even denser, so I don't know how that's going to go, but we'll go and check it out nonetheless. And yeah, we'll see how we go. Those clouds are getting a lot lower over that mountain behind me. And hope that doesn't mean the rain's coming back. No, we better make a move. Righto, here we are at the new spot. There's a bit of a trail here to follow, so let's check it out. Hope for the best.
Now as I traverse further down this trail, it seems as though I can hear some water flowing, and I know there's a creek around here. And personally, I think that'd be a great spot to catch up on a couple of pigs. Just through the trees here, you can start to glimpse it. Here's the little creek that runs along the border of the property. Pretty excited to get in and check this place out.
What an awesome little spot. I mean, it'd be awesome to find some pigs, but this is pretty spectacular.
Now I've been told this creek used to hold some decent fish, but over the last few years it's been dry for a long period of time, and it's only just refilled up with water, so I don't think there's going to be much fish in there now, so I didn't bother bringing a rod out. That doesn't mean there won't be some food to find along this riverbank, so I'm going to make my way down and follow it along for as far as I can, and hopefully we'll catch up with a few things along the way. I think if I'm coming out here again, I might bring a rod, just in case. You never know, fish end up in some strange places. I'm just notching an arrow because walking along this creek bed, I feel like if I bump into a pig, I'm going to spook it and it's going to run either towards me or away from me. And in any case, I might want the opportunity to take a shot at it, especially if it's running towards me. So I'm just going to have that arrow loaded, ready to go, because I might not have time to put one in. So, as luck would have it, I've put the GoPro down to try and get a nice walking shot, and I hear something in the bushes up ahead.
There's definitely something in that lantana thicket up there. I could hear it breaking a few sticks and making a bit of noise, but I don't know if I'll be able to get in to see what it is. But well, we'll have a crack.
I move in as close as I can without making too much noise. I can hear it, it's only on the other side of this lantana thicket, or even in there. It's making quite a lot of noise in there now. Don't know if you can hear it, but I'll try and get the volume up as loud as I can.
Oh, spooked him. Whatever that is, it's big.
So I'm fairly sure this was a decent sized pig having alighted in the lantana. Now it made quite a lot of noise as it became aware of my presence, and it decided it was going to run rather than stick around and fight, which is probably good for me because it sounded pretty sizable. So maybe we'll catch up with him again, maybe we won't, but I want to keep walking up this creek bed. But this is only just around the next corner. There's a wallow here and some game trails leading into it, and that water stinks, so I'm sure there's been pigs bathing in it. So I'm 100% sure that was a big pig in there, and this is his home, and I'm in it, so there could be more around, but just got to keep on moving. I can't hang around here all day. This property sure does have some spectacular woodlands and forests going along this creek and up on the side of the mountain. And it's pretty easy to see that sometimes that mountain gets a lot of rain and this creek sees a lot of water running through it. As you can see by the way this bank's all eaten away. With such a diverse and varied ecosystem, I'm surprised I haven't seen more wildlife. I'm sure I've seen some, but not the great deal I was expecting out here. There's always next time, I guess.
That tangled mess of barbed wire around that tree. That'll be the property boundary. So I'm going to walk back down this dry creek bed, see if we can find a game trail that follows it back to where the car is. And yeah, that'll be it, I'd say. All right, well, if I don't see anything exciting along the way, I'll catch you guys next time. And thanks for joining me on this. My first hunt, solo hunt. First for both, I guess. I'd love to get out and do it some more. So if you want to take me and show me how to do this, or even with a rifle, a little bit better than I am, feel free to swing me a message. Righto, cheers guys for watching. I'll see you next time.